Welcome to Ignite. I'm your host, Vicki Hamilton. This show is about helping leaders spark growth, resilience, and a purpose in their personal and professional lives. Today, we have a treat. Today's guest has a story of survival, transformation, and unshakable belief. Pereira is a best-selling author, international speaker, and executive coach. As the former CEO of Citgo Petroleum, he endured nearly 5 years of wrongful imprisonment as part of the Citgo Six. During that time, faith and resilience kept him going and alive. Today, he's the founder of JoseConnect.com and the Unbreakable Leadership Coaching Program, inspiring executives around the world to lead with courage, empathy, and strength. Jose, thank you so much for being here. And I want to begin with the foundation of your journey. Many of our viewers struggle with feeling lost inside, unsure what they can carry through themselves. What role did faith or inner belief play in keeping you alive and hopeful during your darkest hours? Welcome, Jose.
Well, thank you for being having me here. It was a great introduction. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. I am so inspired by you. And I know my audience will be too. You have such a very heartfelt story. So I wanted to ask you, what role did faith or inner belief play in keeping you alive and hopeful?
Well, faith for me today is everything. Everything. You cannot do nothing in life if you don't have faith. Have faith in you and have faith in the Lord. Both.
Amen.
Both. And I'm gonna say something because in my journey during my captivity, I was not a man of God first. I was a guy that I was really so focused in my career growth,
Mhm.
always climbing the corporate ladder. And I did it great because I became the CEO of this company, Citgo Petroleum. Citgo Petroleum is the sixth refiner here in the US. And I, as an immigrant, becoming the CEO of the company for me was a big deal. But
Yeah.
during that time, the faith was not there. Everything was because of me. Everything was because of I was I thought successful guy,
Mhm.
smart guy, full of
Mhm.
ego, and
Mhm.
that is the old Jose. That is the old Jose. But when this thing happened to me, it was a process. It was a process because at the beginning, my first feeling was of despair and anger. Why God was doing this to me? A lot of anger at the beginning. But God operates in a mysterious way. He really operates in mysterious way because during all that journey, that when we begin to see that our family was fighting hard to bring us
Mhm.
back, and we begin to see the love that they were putting in what they were doing, and all the support that we were receiving, we begin to have not only faith, we begin to have hope. But the faith begin to grow up because during those years we have an encounter with God. It was something that it was really miracle, and that really boosted our faith. So today I can tell you to anybody that's hearing this, that faith is something fundamental in any walk of life, any walk of life.
You
Oh,
know, when I hear stories like this, especially when it's wrongfully done, and you believe that as you're successful, as you're moving forward, that it's all good, right?
mhm.
Now, it becomes something that is very transformative when you go from not believing to believing and having faith. So, how do you explain faith to someone who feels empty or disconnected right now?
Faith, remember that the faith is when you believe in that thing that you haven't seen yet. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and, and identify and discover what is your real purpose. Because sometimes the people are disconnected because they're not walking in their purpose. How many people are not having a business or a job that is not their purpose? That's why the people feel like disconnected. Sometimes even can get to the burnout. But when you find your purpose, you will feel the passion in what you're doing. You will feel the passion, and no matter what is going to be the circumstance that you're going to be facing, you're going to have faith that you're going to be there, because now you're looking not where you are today, you're looking where you want to be. So that's what the faith is. And I can say something that today I'm not only a man of faith, I'm a man that have been studying the human uh, behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I had discovered, that when you really get focused in what you want, when you really believe it and you pray for it, and you pray intentionally for it, you begin to transform your reality. And this is something that has even been confirmed by the science. Today, the neuroscience had confirmed that the observer can change what is observed. That means that if you observe something and you constantly are observing
Mm-hmm.
and making that happen, it will begin to happen. That will be your new reality. And that is what is the faith. That is the fundamental of the faith.
So, I relate to so much of what you're saying from a faith base because I am a faith based woman. Everything I do is only because of what God gives me the grace and mercy to do. I'm a full believer in that, right? And understanding. But when you've gone through things, I want to go back to what you said about being angry and being upset. How did you turn that around? What was it about your belief that finally happened and lifted you out of despair so that you could have the ability to continue to face the challenges that you were up against?
Okay, let me put this in context for your audience that maybe don't know my story. But my situation of captivity happened in 2017. I was by that moment the CEO of the company, so I was in the pinnacle of my career after more than 3 decades in the company. So I had all my life working in the company, but I was planning to get retired that year. So now I'm in my retiring mode, and I receive a call to go to make a presentation to Caracas, Venezuela, where are the headquarters. And it became to be an ambush because they were having issues between the two countries, like it's happening today. Same thing. It was the same administration, by the way, same administration. So it was the first administration of Trump, and it was headed. If you see the news today, 8 years ago was the same news. So now I'm in the middle of that battle, and I decided to get retired. So I flew with my five top executives to make a presentation, and it became an ambush, and we were accused to be American spies. Imagine that, accused to be American spy in a communist regime and throw up in a dungeon. So you begin to have a lot of emotions, and your mind is all over, because the other thing is that we were separated, the six of us. We were not together. So now I'm alone, 24/7 with the light turned on. I lost the sense of time. So you have a lot of time to think and revisit your life. And one of the things that I began to have was, as I said, anger, because I could not understand why a guy that has been always successful, that was in the pinnacle of my career, this happening to me. So I was asking God, why you did this to me? So that was my first reaction. I was in a denial process, I was in an anger process, and I began to have even suicidal thoughts. So I was in the worst of the worst of the moment. But God operates mysteriously, as I said, because one day after months being there. One day they opened the door and they asked me to go to a room that somebody's going to visit me. And when I go there and somebody opened the door, it was my wife.
Mm,
So my wife took that risk to visit me. And I have, encounter emotions. I was happy, I was surprised, and I was scared that she was there.
mhm,
And she told me that it was okay because now I understood what was happening. So the
mhm,
U.S. government was working hard to bring us back. It began to be a lot of issue between the two countries. They recalled the two ambassadors, so they needed to have a point of contact. And it began to be my wife. So my wife was authorized to travel in a secure environment, and she came to visit me. So she
mhm.
came with a message, and she brought back the message that they wanted to begin to negotiate. So
Oh,
that gave
praise
me
God.
that began to give me hope. I begin to have hope, but also I begin to feel that I needed to be strong for my family because
Yes.
that moment I already had 31 years married. So I begin to
Yes.
think, I begin to,
Congratulations on that.
yeah, I'm going to have 40 years this December. I'm going to have
All
40
right.
years.
Now you're gonna have to get some secrets about that. We're gonna have you back on the show so you can talk about how to keep a marriage together for 40
Okay,
years.
we're going to have 40 years
We'll have to
this
do that.
December. But
Well,
let me tell
Jose,
you,
we're going to take a break.
okay,
And to the audience, this is a great lead in as to what's coming up next. We'll talk about how trauma, instead of breaking us, can become the very testimony that empowers us and moving forward. We'll be right back.